All right, good morning. A educational video for you today because it's pretty clear clown show Manic Mike can't do it. Just unbelievable what a guy that spent his life so-called investing just doesn't seem to understand. Of course, he'll come out here making videos daily telling you how right he is. Never gives you anything actionable. Guy makes no sense. He has a chance, if he could, to help people. He doesn't, so I'm going to assume he can't. So that's okay. I'll fill in the gap here that he clearly misses every time someone asks this. All right, so what you're looking at here on the left happens to be our 5-year futures bond trade. We got in it somewhere around March 5th. You can go back months and months and months on this channel. You'll see it. No, actually it's March 20th. And we've been riding it ever since. Don't trust that stop there if you're trying to play the game here. I don't know if that's right or not, but it might be. Not the point. I've been mentioning, rates are going to be going down, although damn slow. So treasuries are going to be a good trade and have been a good trade. Now let me slide down here on this video right here. And what I want to drill down on is this. Peter Bedford, Jesus, buddy, let me help you out. What's a good long 10-year bond fund? Now I'm showing the 5-year on the left. It's a smoother trade, and actually my algo does, I've mentioned this months ago, my algo does the 5-year better than the 10-year. 10-year is a little more volatile, a little more choppy, and the 5-year just tends to roll with the punches a little easier. Both good trades. So the guy's asking, what's a good bond fund? So he wants to get long treasuries. I don't care what it is, 5-year, 10-year, whatever. And Mike suggests IEF, Treasury ETF. Now listen, there isn't a problem with that particular ETF. The problem is, and Mike seems to not be aware of it, the problem is if you do not have the account or the money to be in Treasury futures, then it's not worth doing at all. It doesn't matter if it's a good trade. It's not worth doing at all. Most of the money you're going to make throughout your career is going to be equities. It's not going to be bonds. And it's certainly not going to be bond ETF. So I don't care whether he would have said IEF or SHY, SHY, or TLT. They're just the various funds along the curve. They all have the same problem, is they're horribly inefficient. So this not only goes out to Peter Bedford, it goes out to anyone wanting to be long treasuries, but you're going to try to do it in an ETF. Don't. Now let me give you some details here. It's just not worth it. You'll make money, but you'll make so little, it's not worth it. So I'll give you a peek a little bit on the inside. And my Patreon members know this because we run a real portfolio, entries, stops, sizes, the whole works. So I give them, and I'll give you the example here, currently the 5-year, you're taking about 3.6 contracts per $100,000 of your account. Now that's very, very conservative, but remember, we trade a whole pile of securities, what you see over here on the right, really. One's not live yet, so some of the guys had wondering what's going on. One's not live yet, but the other ones are, they just haven't triggered. I've mentioned it along the ways. We have to be very conservative because we're trading multiple securities, and you can't lever the shit out of everything because you just get a very, very nasty drawdowns at time, and you just want to smooth their equity curve. So 3.6, because that's right smack close to 3.5, I might actually tell my Patreon subscribers 3.6 per 100K. Typically, I just round it. So I think I'm somewhere around 4, I guess, per 100K. I'll just round it up a little bit because it doesn't really matter. And it is very, very conservative. That is kind of a pussy-ass position. If I was trading nothing else, I wouldn't make it that small. But it is what it is for the reasons given. So let me explain to you why these ETFs are not worth it. If you were to try to get the equivalent in an ETF to what we have here in this 5-year, 3.6, it would be roughly 4 times your account size. And I'm just rounding stuff here. So the 3.6 or 4, it's the nominal or notional value is going to be very close to 4 times your account size. So if you were going to trade SHY, for example, just let me take a look at this. Yeah, It's around $83. You would have to purchase the equivalent of about 4,800 shares of SHY per 100,000 of your account to get the same notional value. Now let's just go through a few things here. This SHY is 1 to 3. It's outperformed the 5. So really, short term, it would look like it's roughly the same. But long term, you'll notice, and by long term, I simply mean from this past March 2025, it would actually be about double the return. So you'd cut your size in half. But it doesn't matter. If I'm trying to equate these things, so it would not be 4,800 shares, it'd be 2,400 shares, something like that, of SHY. Now listen, and the problem why this is not doable is the margin on that is something like $30,000 per 100,000 of your account if you were trying to do it to the ETF and you would match the return. Now, stock margin, stock and ETF margin is not futures margin. So if you were going to margin your account $30,000 and your portfolio value was $100,000, you would have no money left to speak of to be buying more of what you should be buying. Basically equities. You want to be mostly equities, not bonds. And if you're tying up this amount of money, then you just simply can't trade the amount of stocks that you would want to trade. And you'd run into actually paying margin interest far more easily, all for the sake of tying up a third of your money in a stupid bond ETF. Now, I'm assuming you're going to be getting interest on your account anyways. So if you're going to have cash in the account, if you are, and you're not stocked up on stocks, it really does make no sense to own one of these ETFs because you're not going to be making any more money than effectively the cash, assuming you get interest in your account. Not really. Now, you may say, well, I can't trade futures in my account. I've got a cash account. I've got some sort of registered account where you can't do futures at all. Well, then the answer is even easier. Just don't trade it at all. Like it's a non-starter. You don't even have the problem then. So the reality is, if you want to trade, and this is what Mike missed, this is what he should have mentioned. If you're going to trade treasuries at all, you have to do it in the futures market because you can lever it the way you need to make anything anyways, any amount of money anyways. If you're not levered in the treasury market, you're not making any money worth a damn. And again, we're very, very laid back here, and we're levered 4 times the size of the account. Now, it seems big and nasty. We've got stops in, but it's not big and nasty. So that should really tell you what you need to know, why these bond ETFs are just a complete non-starter. Stop wasting your time. All you're going to do is tie up money, cause yourself interest payments. All you're going to do is tie up needlessly funds in your account that should be going towards equities and paying margin interest on top. It's completely ridiculous. So you look at it and you think, well, that looks nice. Yeah, but it's the amount you make. It's the percentage of your account that you can realistically make. You're not going to do it in ETFs. You're only going to do it in futures. If you can't trade futures, good, your problem's done. Walk away from it, don't look at it. All right, I hope that's been helpful. So Peter Bedford, stop wasting your time. Because it's pretty clear, if you're looking for a bond fund, you're not trading futures and you really are just barking up the wrong tree. And did Mike help you? No. He probably has never even thought of these basic little things. In fact, this fool is probably buying ETFs himself. It's ridiculous. But that's what you expect with Manic Mike and his nonsense trading. Talk to you soon.